So many arguments for the existence of God are archaeological, historical, textual, and theological. But sometimes I just want something different.
There are ontological, cosmological, and psychological arguments for God.
Examples, please.
Okay, ontological, on the nature of being. God is defined, at least in part, as that which has all conceivable perfections. Well, isn't it more perfect to actually exist than not?
So by definition, God would have to exist.
Yep. St. Anselm said, "A being than which nothing greater can be conceived cannot exist in the understanding alone."
Interesting. How about cosmological?
Since no thing can ultimately move itself, there must be an unmoved mover, the original source of all motion. If there isn't a first uncaused cause of the chain of causes and effects that we can see, then the second causes couldn't exist. They do, so God must.
Psychological.
Augustine notes that our minds are in contact with absolute, objective, eternal truth that is superior to our minds.
Like 2 plus 2 just is 4.
Yup, and this points to an eternal divine source. Descartes said that even our idea of a perfect being couldn't have come from an imperfect source.
Because the effect can't be greater than the cause.
And Kant notes that morality requires a perfect ideal.
And that the ideal must be actual or real.
C.S. Lewis argues that our inborn desires correspond to real objects. We're hungry, food exists, we're thirsty, water exists, we feel desire, sex exists. If we find in ourselves a desire which no experience in this world can satisfy, the most probable explanation is we were created for another world. Humans have always looked up and desired transcendence because God is real. If there is no God of love, an absolute standard, then love itself is not absolute. Without God, life is as meaningless and as barren as your scalp.
Paper on Aquinas' 5 ways in detention for doubting my follicles.